Man, welcome back here to another episode of the Easy Money Sports Podcast. Man, no long time no see. I know, man. I know. Folks been asking about it, man. I know we
Yeah,
back, man. Of course, me myself as always. Sanders here, man. Of course, got my guy Dupree here with me.
what's going on, man? We back at it,
Man, back at
back
it,
at it,
man.
man.
Look, hey, it's just a lot been going on, man. Just
Yo,
in
yeah,
life, what I'm saying. No bad stuff.
nah,
All
no, no,
good,
no.
all good. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying. It's been a great 2025 out here for your boy. You know what I'm saying, man. Same for you, bro.
yeah, no, for
It's
sure.
been a great 2025 for us, bro. So we just trying to, of course, get things adjusted. You know what I'm
hmm
saying, to all the nuances in our lives, man, and everything like that. So it's just that's why it's been a while. So you know, man, we ain't gonna hold y'all much longer. We'll go ahead and get right into it. Man, we in June now. Speaking of 2025, we in June, so we coming up on
Halfway,
a
bro.
halfway point. You know what I
Yes,
mean? So
sir.
it's time for that. So obviously, everything that has been transpired. We had obviously the playoffs for the NFL, the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? The draft just came and went. So
hmm
OTAs and everything like that is getting ready in the NFL, and then of course in the NBA, man, we've had one of the craziest playoffs in a minute. It's been one of the craziest playoffs in a minute, man,
hmm
and now we made it here, finally here to the NBA Finals, down to the final two. The Oklahoma City Thunder out in the West, and probably the biggest surprise, the Indiana Pacers coming out of the East.
Yeah.
Man, we're gonna talk about that in this episode here, but starting out here, a little bit of breaking news that we just found out today. The team that the Pacers dethroned in the Eastern Conference Finals, the New York Knicks, decided to fire Coach Tom Thibodeau after their best run in 25 years, man, a
Yeah.
quarter of a century. Back-to-back 50-win seasons for them guys, man. The deepest runs they've had in a minute in New York, brought back excitement to New York to put them, in contention year in and year out. Made the trade last season for Karl Anthony Towns, swapping them out, bringing in Mikal Bridges,
hmm
um, and everything like that. And 2 wins away, essentially, was 2 wins away from the NBA Finals, and the Knicks decide to fire Tibbs. Man, what you think about that?
I was shocked. I can't believe that they decided to do that. Um, like you said, this first Eastern Conference Finals since 2000, back to back 50-win seasons, doing the semifinals last year, Eastern Conference Finals this year. Um, if they don't lose game one in that collapse, they might win the series. I definitely think that was when they lost game one. Um, that I knew that one was gonna come back to bite them. You lose a game like that at home, but I was shocked. I mean, Tibbs has his ways, right? We all know he has his ways. If you watch basketball, especially when you get in the playoffs, he has a very short leash. He only plays about seven guys, um, maybe eight if you're lucky, but it's seven
Right.
guys really. And so he has his ways about him. But I thought that even with the Knicks going down the way that they did, I thought towards the end of the series, he made some adjustments that started to work for the Knicks. And you think, okay, you run it back one more year, or you run it back next year, not even just one more year, but you run it back with the squad and everything next year. You have another full year with Brunson and Cat and Hart to be able to figure some things out. Maybe you can get one more piece, Mikal Bridges. Like he started coming to his own and everything too. Started to figure out where he fit offensively. Um, we knew the Knicks, their style of play with Tibbs, man, is not they're not going to be this up and downs type of run and gun team like up the Pacers, right? They're going to be a grind it out, play defense type of squad. Jalen Brunson get him to the fourth and let Jalen Brunson do his thing. Being the Coach Player of the Year this year. But I was shocked, man. I don't know. I don't get the reasoning. I don't know what the reasoning is. Whatever it is, I don't know if I'm gonna understand it. Because I mean, they were right there, and obviously you want to win the championship and you lose to the same team back to back years. So I get that's frustrating as well. But you didn't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and you did beat the defending champs in the Boston Celtics. And I know Jason Tatum went down. Wishes to him for a speedy recovery, but you did beat the defending NBA champions in Boston, and then you turn around and you get you host the Eastern Conference Finals. You got home court advantage. I don't know. I don't get it. It doesn't really make sense to me, but I'm I'm not there, so um, obviously they felt that there was a change that needed to be made. I don't know who they're gonna go with. I don't know who they're gonna hire, but um, I thought Tibbs was doing a good job, man. Obviously, like I said, back to back 51 seasons, East semifinals last year, Eastern Conference Finals this year. Like I said, if you win game one, you they might be in the finals if they win game one. So we'll we'll see, man. I don't know how you feeling. How you feeling about it?
To me, man, this almost feels like trying to make him being Thibs, almost trying to make him out to being the scapegoat um,
Yeah.
of the situation of what happened in this past series against the Pacers. I get it, like you said, I get it. It's the second year in a row they've lost to this team. They got eliminated by him, so it feels like that they just don't match up very well against the Pacers, which is the truth because of the fact
Mm-hmm.
of, which is kind of to your point of what you're saying about Thibs. He's never going to play. Indiana, it goes about 9. They can probably go 10
Probably.
if they wanted to. They can go
Yeah.
about 9, 10, and Rick Carlisle's going to play his guys, and Indiana's pretty deep. Well, Tibbs is going to roll with his guys. It's going to be the starting 5 and
Mm-hmm.
2 other dudes, possibly, like you said, possibly an 8. But it's a short, that 8 person is probably barely playing. And nobody else is there, right? So I get it. He can get in his ways of pretty much running his starters and the top guys in his rotation to the ground, and they run out of gas by the time they get to this time of the season because they're so
Mm-hmm.
worn out from playing so many minutes. However, we talking about, like we said, getting the Knicks out of purgatory, out of basketball purgatory.
Mm-hmm.
Back-to-back 50-win seasons. You take out the defending champs, and I know people are going to say, well, yeah, Tatum got hurt and everything like that, but he was there those first 2-3 games of the series. So,
Yes, he was.
you know, and it happened the way it happened. I mean, it sucked that he got hurt, but, I just felt like it just feels like almost kind of like what happened um, with the Lakers, with Frank Vogel, with Phoenix, with Frank Vogel. It just seemed like they're trying to just make
Yeah.
the coach the scapegoat, which I get it because, sure, when they're winning, he's going to get all the credit. When they're losing, he's going to get all the blame. I mean, but I just feel like that's just, I don't understand because the next thing, like you said, is who's going to take over this position? Who's going to
Mm-hmm.
want this position? It's not like they have a slew of draft picks to work with because they traded them all for Mikal Bridges.
Mm-hmm.
So you pretty much got to work with the guys that you got there right now. Like what do you do? I mean, who's going to take over that? You know, the offense is pretty much 15, 16 seconds is Jalen Brunson dribbling a pick
Mm-hmm.
and roll here and there. I mean, the offense is pretty much just standing around there. Oh, Cat, come save me. Brunson, come save me. Or, you don't see Mikal Bridges get going into the fourth quarter for some reason,
Yeah.
which if you put in all that equity or gave away those assets to
You
get
need
him here to
more.
make this work, he needs to be more involved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Josh Hart has the potential to to be a stat stuffer and have triple double nights, and then there's some nights he only takes like 3 shots.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know. It's weird. I thought they jumped the gun too soon on this, and I know how people feel about this. And did he get outcoached in this playoff series against the Pacers? Yeah, I would say that. I think Rick Carlisle outcoached him
Yeah.
because it took him finally to what it was at about game 3 or 4 to where he finally made the switch into some
Yeah.
lineups and finally start playing some guys to get them more involved, to kind of give the starters a rest and show how deep the team really can be. But it was kind of too little, too late. And like you said, them blowing that game one pretty much just kind of sealed the deal because if they win that game one, who knows where that series goes? And this is probably now OKC versus the Knicks instead of OKC and the Pacers. I mean, tough to say, as time has gone on now, but I just think this was a very knee jerk reaction by Leon Rose in the front office there in New York,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not like once again it's not like they got a whole bunch of assets, a slew of draft picks. Like they're pretty much stuck with this core of guys that they
Yep.
got there with Cat, Hart, Brunson, and Mikal Bridges. What do you do to piece the rest of that team together? Because obviously there's going to be some guys there that's probably on some more lighter minimal contracts who are about to get ready and leave out. So I don't know, man. It's tough. Me personally, I don't think they should have fired him. But also in the back of my mind, I can kind of understand, I guess, a little bit of their frustration on how the series went against the Pacers.
Yeah.
But it was like that last year too. So I mean, if that's the case, you should have got rid of him last year.
I, I don't see even that. Yeah, it's just too early because even that's like you get rid of him last year. Like that doesn't make sense either. So to get rid of him now after once again the deepest run you've had since 2000, the year 2000, I don't I don't get it. I don't think that to me I don't think Tibbs is what gets you over the hump, if that makes sense. I don't think it's a coaching change that gets you to the finals. They need some more help scoring, which to your point is okay, Mikal Bridges, I need you to stop waiting to the fourth quarter to start shooting the basketball. Right? We need to do some more things to get Cat more involved earlier in the game, things like that. So I get those points, but I don't know if it was a pure coaching that would have got the Knicks over the hump. I don't think there was a good matchup with Indiana. That's one. That's just not a good matchup for what Indiana does. But I think there's more personnel. I think more players need to step up. I think Mikal Bridges need to step up and be more aggressive. I think that is what needs to happen more so over a coaching change. But I mean, they did it, and I mean they can't really go back now. I mean, you told the man he was done, so can't really go back and say I was just playing. so
Yeah,
so
nah. It
it's
was it
over
was
with
it was a
now.
prank. It was a
Yeah,
prank.
man. I say yeah, it's mid-year April Fools. Like you can't really do that. So
Yeah, so I don't know, man. It's tough. It'll be interesting to see who they look out here as candidates for the job. I mean, even with prior to Tibbs being there and then the success of the Knicks or lack thereof that was there, it's still the New
hmm
York Knicks that you're coaching for. So obviously they're gonna probably want somebody probably high profile, some experience, some playoff experience, some guys who know how to get a team together and everything like that. But I don't know, top of my head, I can't think of nobody right now, bro. It's just
I mean, the first name that comes to my mind is Mike Malone.
that's true.
That's the first
That's
name,
that's that's a, that's about it.
Mike Malone, and then after that, you kind of go down to you know
Then you
Mark
got to factor in,
Jackson.
yeah, you got to
That
factor
kind
in who would want it, right? Like what.
Yeah.
What pros and cons do I have with taking this job?
Yeah.
And we all know how New York can be,
Mm-hmm.
just in general, whether they're good or bad. We know how New York can be. So I don't know, man. I think that's tough. Hate it again for Thiz to be out of a of a job again, man. But I mean,
Yeah.
if he wants to keep coaching, obviously he can get back into it and find him another place to coach. Depending on what's out there and what's available, or be on
Mm-hmm.
someone's staff. So interesting to see, man. We'll see, but that's what's quickly what has gone on right now in the NBA outside of the court, man. On the court, obviously the 2025 NBA Finals starts Thursday. Game 1 is on Thursday in
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma City. We got the Oklahoma City Thunder against the Indiana Pacers. Um, who would have thought back in November this would have been the matchup?
Not me.
I I could probably say maybe most people could have had the Thunder in the running to come out of
Yeah.
the West. They probably had him in the running. Would they say that they had him in there? Who knows? Um, of course, I'm pretty sure nobody probably thought Indiana would make the run that they're making to the finals, which in a way is kind of crazy because when you think about it, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
That's
So
true. Yeah.
you know, but obviously you're thinking about, well, what happened with obviously Boston. You're thinking they're going to repeat. The Knicks was probably in conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You saw how Cleveland started out the year, so you thought it'll be them, and you couldn't rule out Giannis and Dame in the Bucks,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
everything like that. And we saw how that went, but obviously, an unlikely matchup that's happening. But before we get into our different topics that we got into the finals, I don't know if you've seen, but obviously, there's been a lot of people saying, "Oh, this is OKC and the Pacers. I'm not watching this. The ratings is gonna be terrible. This is not good for basketball. Blah 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 blah." What's your take on that?
Well, one I'm gonna watch because it's the finals. This matchup is actually more intriguing than I think people are giving it credit for because of the styles of play, because of how Indiana plays and how they're up and down the court, and how Oklahoma City plays defense. And so this is very much, we were talking about boxing before we started the show. This is very much styles make fights. And so we get to see, okay, does the up and down pace, the shooting, ability, the depth of the Pacers, how does that fare against lockdown defense that Oklahoma City has displayed all season? I get what people are saying because it is two small markets. You do have the MVP and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander playing for Oklahoma City, but outside of that, and obviously you have Tyrese Halliburton for the Pacers. But outside of that, there aren't really any stars outside of those guys. Um, I believe everybody was hoping that you got to see Ant-Man in the finals just because of how he is and his personality and who he is as a player on the basketball court. And then obviously New York would just be a bigger market, right? Just to have the Knicks in New York in the finals would just be a big deal. Um, so I get it, I get it. But this is still two really good teams who are going to play for an NBA championship. And also too, man, it is kind of it's good to see some young blood, some new guys in in this thing. So I get it. I get where people are coming from. But I think this series has a opportunity to surprise some folks. I know we're gonna pick a little later on and stuff, but um, I think this is gonna be a real good series. So I mean, we'll see what you thinking, man. I know you're annoyed with it. I know you're annoyed with it.
Y'all gotta y'all gotta pick y'all gotta pick a struggle, bro. basketball fans got to pick a struggle. 15 years ago, it was such the, super team thing, and everybody was like teaming up to get on the same squad and everything like that, man, and all that good stuff. And folks hated it. They hated the super team era.
Yeah.
I'm tired of seeing the same teams, the same people in here. When we gonna get we need some parity. Now we're getting that,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're gonna say, I don't like this. Bring me back the stars. Give me the super teams. Blah blah. You gotta pick a struggle, bro.
Which one?
You gotta pick a struggle. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You gotta pick a struggle. My thing is, bro. To be honest, I've said this really about a season or two ago,
Mm-hmm.
bro. It's time for the new wave. It's time for the new wave.
And that's different. And that's different for people.
We probably won't see no more of Steph, LeBron,
Mm-hmm.
Katie, like the guys that we grew up seeing, as kids, constantly being in those conversations, in the talks of always winning the championship. I don't want to completely rule it out because
Yeah.
as long as they're still playing, there's a chance. But it's time for a new wave. And if you really like the NBA, if you really like basketball like you say you do, you either gonna get with it or you're gonna get lost. And then now we're gonna start talking about you how we talk about our OGs when they constantly talk about Jordan and
Yeah.
Pippen and Barkley and you know what I'm saying, all of them. But it's like, look, is you gonna catch up with us and look at Bron, Steph, KD, or you gonna still hush up, still keep talking about what was going on back then? And respectfully, we know that that's history. We can't knock it.
Yeah.
But we ain't trying to see all that no more. You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to
Yeah.
see all that no more. It's the same thing now, bro. Either y'all gonna get with seeing SGA, seeing Halliburton, seeing Ant, seeing, Ja, seeing all those dudes as young up and coming Wemby when he get back on the court. Like seeing these young dudes and they start to make the national system now where the
Mm-hmm.
elder statesmen, now you think about it now, the elder statesman now is gonna be, and I don't mean to say like elderly like they're old, but you know what I'm saying, they getting ready to come in prime, bro. The Lucas, the Tatums, the you know what I'm saying, the Jalen Browns, the Trey Youngs,
Yeah.
which, by the way, probably the most disrespected NBA player in the league, but that's another story for another day. I ain't gonna get on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying, it's time for them to be, as everybody like to be now, coining the face of the league, bro. It's time for them, and it's time for a young wave, bro. You think about this, bro. The final four teams that we had in the NBA had either never won a championship or it's been like nearly 50 years
Since they
since
have.
they won one. And so, to me, that's a storyline in itself to say that, okay, this is working. This is what y'all asked for. We wanted this parity. Let's bring in some young freshness so that way we figure out. And this ain't gonna be no whoever wins this championship, because I'm gonna throw this out here too. This ain't finna be whoever wins this finals. They are
Is
now
the
the face of the league.
Yeah.
That's
We
not
ain't
how it
doing
works.
that. Yeah.
That's not how it works. It has to come organically. It has to be made that way to not only just on the basketball court but off the basketball court. And I'm gonna leave it at that. But it's a new wave, bro. Either you're gonna get with it or you're gonna get lost, and you just gonna be sitting up here talking about, the you still gonna be sitting up here talking about the Ray Allen shot from the 2012 finals, or the 2013 finals, which is cool. It's
Mm-hmm.
history. We ain't gonna forget about it. But dang, you mean to tell me you don't want to sit up here and see Tyrese Halliburton sitting up here flirting with triple doubles every night? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? SGA leading the league in scoring for 2-3 years or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to see Ant sit up here and posterize somebody dang there
Come
every
on,
night.
man.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
know.
Like
You
you
want to
don't
see
want
that.
to you don't want to see you don't want to see you
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to see that. Come on, man. Come on. So it's just I think folks just gotta understand, bro. Like this is it, and it's easier said than done. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's trust me, it's gonna feel weird the day when we hear Steph, LeBron, and KD say they retire. It's for sure. It's gonna be weird. It's
Yeah,
gonna be an odd. It's gonna be an odd
definitely.
day when that happens. But we gotta understand, bro. This new wave is coming in, man, and we gotta embrace it. If you true basketball fans, if you really love the sport like you say you do, you gotta embrace it. So, like I agree with you. I think it's gonna be a great series. This is two teams. They young. They can run up and down the floor.
Mm-hmm.
They play defense. They play hard. Ain't nobody going. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna take a night off. They not gonna give up. We seen them. We seen them both respectively and all throughout these playoffs be down and come back and win.
Yeah.
So this, you know what I'm saying? So if somebody end up being up by 15, 18 points in game one, we can't even sit up here and say that it's over with because we seen them all. We seen them both come back respectively throughout the playoffs and win the game. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be interesting, man. I think it's going to be a great series. And I think looking back on it, folks is going to like, you know, see it and be like, man, we really tried to downplay this, but this really was a great series, man. Basketball wise, sure, it don't have the storylines of what it could have been if it was the Timberwolves and the Knicks. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been crazy just because of the whole Cat Randall trade and
Mm-hmm.
Thibs playing up New York. Seeing, and I get it. It would have been nice for folks just to talk about outside of basketball, but the game is won on the court, and that's what we
That's it.
really coming to see. That's what we come to see to watch to figure out what's going to happen. So, um, that's what I think about that series, man. I think it's going to be great. So we'll get right into it, bro. We got two keys for each team, man. This to try to figure out what are the two keys. Let's start with the Pacers. What keys you got for them that's going to be important for them throughout this series?
Well, the first thing is definitely how Indiana deals with the on-ball defense of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and really is because I believe I don't know if how much Tyrese Halliburton is going to be able to bring the ball up the court. So it's one for me is who's able to take some of that pressure off of Tyrese Halliburton. Is it TJ McConnell? Is he able to bring the ball up the court? Is it Neesmith? Is he able to bring the ball up the court? Who is the other guy that's going to be able to handle some of the ball handling? Because it's going to be tough. Lou Dort is going to be right there with Tyrese Halliburton series. So how did he do that? And then the other thing is obviously you got to figure out a way. Everybody knows you got to try to figure out a way to guard Shea, but Jalen Williams. Who guards Jalen Williams? And he's had a reputation of being on and off, high and cold. So can Rick Carlisle come out with a way, a scheme, or throw some different bodies at Jalen Williams so he's off? Because if he's off, Shea is Shea, and Shea's going to do his thing. He might have a game or two where he might be a little off or whatever like that, but he's going to do his thing. But can you keep Jalen Williams off rhythm? Can you make him uncomfortable? Because if you can do that, especially on the offensive side of the ball, I think that bodes well for Indiana, and it puts more pressure on the other guys for Oklahoma City to try to make up some of that slack. So you got to be able to deal with the on-ball pressure offensively, and then can you make Jalen Williams uncomfortable? If you can handle those two things, Indiana's going to be in a good spot. They're going to be in a good spot.
Yeah, yeah. My excuse me. My two keys for Indiana is almost kind of similar. One is withstanding the bodies
Mm-hmm.
that Oklahoma City is going to bring. Because you mentioned Lou Dort, but then even when he come off the bench, here comes Alex Caruso.
Yeah.
Here comes Cason Wallace. Kind of just they, they're not the biggest guys, not the strongest guys like how like Lou Dort is, but they so pesky. They so
Mm-hmm.
they so irritable. They get on your nerves. Kind of almost like what's my boy down there in New Orleans, man, Jose Alvarado.
Alvarez. Yeah,
It's
Alvarado. Excuse
just
me.
it's like obviously you can probably get past them and everything like that, but it's just they annoy you so much. Like after a while, it's
Constant.
just like
Yeah.
you're getting on my nerves. So can they withstand the bodies that's gonna get sent for sure at Halliburton? You know what I'm saying? At Halliburton, even at Neesmith, at Nimhard, like that whole backcourt because it can't just fall on Tyrese on
Hmm.
Hadley throughout this whole series. I mean, if he has one of those games where he's just getting off, that's cool, and that might get you one, but I don't know if that'll get you four.
No.
Especially against a team like this. Um, and then another key that I look at too is on the boards, finishing on the defensive end and grabbing the defensive rebound because
Mm.
Oklahoma City, they can thrive off with Chet and Hartstein getting those offensive rebounds, finding a way to either them putting it back up or they can dish it out to Jalen
Hmm.
Williams, to Shea, to a Lou Dort, to where Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, to where they're out there knocking down threes or getting second chance opportunities, getting points. That's going to be a key thing. Can they make sure that they can limit Oklahoma City to the second chance opportunities? Because the Thunder is not a team that's really going to make too many mistakes,
Yeah.
but when they do, you have to capitalize on it.
Hmm.
So if Shea is having an off night, y'all have to go ahead and offset that to make sure that we own. If Jalen Williams is having an off night, we got to offset that to make sure, we own. We got to make sure we keep Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren off the boards especially for the offensive rebounds, to
Yeah.
where they pretty much can be a non-factor because we've seen games throughout the playoffs where both Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein have quiet games on the boards, and then you're thinking, man, we got 2 16 guys, and we can't get nobody, on the boards. But
On the
that's
board.
where Miles Turner is going to have to come in and have he's going to have a hell of a series, So
Yeah.
those are my 2 keys there for the Pacers. Then on the flip side, what you got? What's the 2 keys that you think about for OKC?
Oklahoma City, I believe he was a key for Indiana, but it is Jalen Williams. I think Jalen Williams has to be there. He has to show up. Like I said, everybody knows that Shea is the guy. So you gotta have your Robin, right? You gotta have your guy with you. I know he's gonna show up defensively. That's what he does. He's gonna play defense. He's gonna be out there in passing lanes, up in guys' grills playing defense. But he's got to show up on the offensive side of the ball. Um, and then another key for him, I believe, is being able to. Oklahoma City plays with a up tempo pace as well, right? They play with up tempo pace as well, but it's Indiana's is on a totally different level, and their cardio and how they play, and they also are. I mean, you talk about this is almost kind of like a mirror match, man. You're talking about Indiana, man. They'll have 6 dudes in double figures. How does it with as good a defense that Oklahoma City plays? How do they deal with the distribution that Halliburton is able to have? Right, because Halliburton isn't out there averaging 25. It's 19, but he's averaging 10 assists. How do they deal with, right? This is going to be very different than Minnesota, where it's Ant Man and then it's Julius. Then okay, yeah, Nas, maybe sometimes, then here's DiVincenzo, but it's the whole starting five for Indiana, and then there's 3 4 guys coming off the bench. How do they deal with those numbers in the reverse, right? Those bodies that Indiana has that are capable to go out there and score the basketball and not they can do it off the dribble and catch a shoot. Like it's a variety. So um how do they, right? How do they deal with the tempo and how are they able to guard the variety of scores and the number of scores that Indiana has with as good defense as they play because they play great defense, but dealing with that.
For sure. Well, for me with OKC, the 2 keys I looked at is their bench and
Hmm.
keeping up with Indiana's bench. I mean, because we saw it throughout this last series against the Knicks. I mean, it could be anybody's night. We talking about Obi Toppin,
Mm,
T.J. McConnell, Thomas Bryant came out of nowhere and
yeah.
had a game. Benedict Mathurin had like a crazy game, one of those games. So it's just can the guys like Caruso and Wiggins and the other Jalen Williams like
Yeah.
can they pitch in to make sure to even that out because like you said, yeah, the starters, you know what I'm saying, they can do their piece with far as with Shea and Chet and Jalen and Lou Dort and all those guys, but they gonna probably need a game, probably for sure at least one game to where it's gonna have to be Caruso having a night,
Hmm.
Isaiah Joe having a night, Aaron Wiggins, Jalen Williams. I mean, somebody else is gonna have to kind of come out of nowhere and have one of those games. They don't even have to be necessarily even just like on the offensive side. I mean, to where they're one of the ones that was guarding Halliburton or guarding Aaron Neesmith to be like, oh well, they're not having as much of a good game as they thought they
Hmm.
would. So that's one thing there for me. And then number two is gonna be uh, the 3-point shooting for OKC because we
Okay.
know Indiana loves they can shoot the lights out of the gym. If
For sure.
when they own, they own. Can OKC mirror that? Even though that's not really like their game, it's
Hmm.
so do they fall into that trap of shooting so many threes and then if they're not making them, they're not having them fall. Do they end up falling behind, or can they stick with their game plan to where it can kind of be more so in the half court? We're getting downhill, getting to the free throw line, making our first possession points, and if we do miss, or we can get the offensive rebound to get our second chance points. So
Hmm.
that's gonna be interesting to see what happens for those two keys for me with OKC. Um, So who you got also for as X factors for each team?
So for Indiana, I believe the X factor is Miles Turner. I believe he's the X factor. If and Miles Turner can shoot the basketball. If Miles Turner can pull Hardenstein out of the paint, there is no more rim protector. There's no more rim protection because you imagine that Chet Holmgren is going to be on Pascal Siakam. It's interchangeable, whatever, right? But if Miles Turner can pull Hardenstein out of the paint, there's no more rim protection. So now you give free reign for Halliburton to be able to get to the cup unimpeded. You give McCollum, Neesmith, some of those guys, okay, it's one on one and there's nobody at the rim where I can go up and maybe get fouled. I can go and get an easy layup, whatever it is. So I believe Miles Turner, even outside of that, he has to have a big game. Big series, excuse me. You mentioned it earlier. The rebound is going to be huge in this series. They're going to need Miles Turner to show up and have a great series if they're going to win the finals. And then for Oklahoma City, I think it is Lou Dort. And I say it's Lou Dort because of his ability and his versatility and being able to guard not only guards but forwards. There were times in that series against Minnesota, he was checking Julius Randle. He was checking Julius Randle. Lou Dort is bigger than what I thought. When you see him on the court, I didn't realize he was that tall. He's six
Yeah,
four,
yeah,
and he looks as big as he is. He's 210, 215 pounds. Like, this dude he's a tank. Like, he's a big dude, man, big strong dude. So you saw how he guarded Anthony Edwards, and Anthony Edwards is not a little guy. Tyrese Halliburton is on the slimmer side. TJ McCollum, although I don't think he's really going to be checking him, but he's on the smaller side. These guards for Indiana are not as big as some of the dudes that he was guarding against Minnesota. And then you turn it around, Pascal Siakam. is on the slimmer side. Julius Randle is a bigger, powerful dude, and he was able to guard him. So his versatility and being able to check multiple people was like, hey man, okay, Pascal is getting off. Lou, go handle that. Go see if you shut that down. Okay, you already know the first matchup he's gonna have is Tyrese Halliburton. So we know, but his versatility and being able to check multiple positions, I think for OKC is gonna bode well for them, because that goes into you being able to throw multiple bodies at Halliburton, at Pascal Siakam. Shoot, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised he might end up on Miles Turner at one point. You know what I'm saying? But just his versatility is an X factor in this matchup for me, for Oklahoma City. So Miles Turner, and I went two players. I went two players instead of schemes or whatever. But Miles Turner and Lou Dort, those are the guys for me.
Yeah. For me, the X factors on each team for me for the Pacers is actually you mentioned him, is Pascal Siakam. When you think about it from the Pacer side, he's the only one with, like, I guess you can say some real true like
Yeah.
finals experience, being with that Toronto team in 2019. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that was pretty much kind of like his coming out party. And after that, it's kind of been like it's been steady, but he's been flying still like kind of under the radar.
Yep.
And I mean, you even saw it like in the series, right? The Knicks series. One game he doesn't do so much. The next game he goes off for almost 40. Come back down for 17. Come back up again for 25 or whatever like that. And then back down again for 15. So it's just he's very often on here lately too, and he's. You kind of mentioned about how Jalen Williams has to be that number two for OKC.
Mm-hmm.
Siakam has to be that number two for the Pacers, or dang
Gotcha.
near a 1A.
Yeah.
I mean, or a 1B or something. Like he has to be consistently that next guy that can go get a bucket for the Pacers if need be. So, and the fact that he has that championship experience, you definitely have to throw that in as a huge factor. And then for me on OKC side, it's going to be Chet Holmgren. Um, he has a big matchup coming up here, whether it be, like you said, whether it be against Pascal Siakam or Miles Turner. Because, I
Yeah.
mean, if you think about it, him and Miles Turner is like that's almost like the Spider-Man meme, right? You know what I'm saying? Two big, tall guys that can stretch the floor, that can shoot the
Mm-hmm.
three, that can go get boys if they need to. You know, go get the rebounds. You know what I'm saying? Can have some type of a defensive presence if they can be. So that's gonna be interesting. He's gonna have his work cut out because either he's gonna have a smaller guy to guard in Siakam, but that can be a little bit quicker too. Which, Chet he's an athletic guy for his
Mm-hmm.
size, but that's still not an easy task to have to go up against a Pascal Siakam. And then if he switches out and has to take on a Miles Turner, who is just as tall as him,
Mm-hmm.
weighs a little bit more than he does, that can stretch out the defense just like he can, he's going to have to win one, if not both of those matchups whenever he gets the chance to. So um, it's going to be interesting to see what Chet does throughout this series too. It's a bull's eye
Yeah.
on him, just like how you mentioned about Miles Turner and everything like that. So those are my X factors there. And of course, throughout the series, we've been kind of talking about it even all throughout the episodes, like the different matchups. But what's the one that you're like just looking forward to? You can't wait to see when it happens throughout the series.
It might be one that's kind of under the radar a little bit, but Andrew Nemhart is a sneaky good defender, and I'm interested to see his matchup with Shea. I'm interested to see how he guards Shea. It's gonna be different because you're not guarding 6'1" Jalen Brunson.
Yeah,
I don't know if people realize how big Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is. He's 6'6". So he's a tall dude as well. He's not a little guy, but it's a different matchup for him. And obviously, like I said, Shea is Shea, man. He gets busy, and you can't speed him up. You can't slow him down. Like he plays at his pace. I mean, it was crazy some of the times just watching. Like he's like legit, like walking, like he's legit walking, and then he just boom shoots. He like what do you do with that? But seeing Nimhart guard Shea, that's the matchup that I'm most intrigued to see because that he might be able to he might be able to do something. He might be able to do something, and I won't say frustrate Shea, but he might be able to
Trying to make it tough on him.
make it tough on
Yeah,
SGA. So
yeah.
I'm interested to see what Nimhart does, man, and how he guards Shea.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. For me, it's actually one that you mentioned earlier. Who guards Jalen Williams?
Mm.
Do you, I mean, I don't. Do you throw
Well,
Tyrese on him? I don't know. Do you throw Aaron Neesmith on him? Does Neesmith from Nimbar, do they get a switch it out every now and again? Especially
yeah.
if he's having a good night offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like you said, that defensively, that's what he's going to hang his hat on. He's fine. He'll be there. Can he, if he's having one of those nights offensively, who's
Who?
going to guard him? Like, who do you throw at him?
Yeah.
And then it's to the point where if he's having that type of night, you
You
can't forget
already
about
know.
Shea.
Yeah, you already yeah.
You can't forget about Shea. So it's just who ends up guarding him. So I think that's
Yeah.
going to be interesting to see for me who guards Jalen Williams. So I can't wait to see that one because obviously we know who they're going to throw all that shade,
Yeah.
but you can't forget about Jalen Williams.
No. Mm-mm. Yeah,
So
you're right about that.
can't
You're right
can't wait to
about
see
that.
that one. But man, when it's all said and done, hearing about the next couple weeks, week and a half, because they finna stretch out these games.
Boy, boy.
You know what I'm saying? They finna
It's gonna
stretch
be
out these
4 days
games
before
in
they play in
between.
Indiana.
They finna stretch the heck out these games, man. But in the end, who do you have hosting up the Larry O'Brien Trophy?
Man, I got OKC in 6, man. I'm taking OKC in 6. Uh, I think they've just been the best basketball team, wire to wire. Um, Best record in the NBA, MVP. It's the way they play defense, man. Like it's for as young as they are, the fact that they play defense the way that they do, you don't see that on a team for a team as young as they are. You don't see that as a team like that. It might, there's a couple players here or there, but as a team, they take pride. Like SGA plays great defense. Like they play defense, man. They play together and they play defense. They like playing with one another. Like you see the post game interviews and stuff. Like they like playing with one another and being around each other. I just don't know. I just don't know if Indiana has. They have enough firepower. I don't know if they have the firepower to win 4 games. I don't know if they have the firepower to win 4 games against this defense in Oklahoma City. So I think Oklahoma City wins it. Um, First championship as a franchise. I wish they would have did it some years ago when I was on the boat, but it's all good, man. I know you still on it, and everything. I know you rocking with them boys. So I got OKC, man. I think they'll get it done.
Look, the Pacers, a speed racer, a shot with no chaser. Thunder in 6.
Thunder 6. There
Yeah,
it
I'm
is.
not, but on a serious tip, I'm with you. I just think, I mean, OKC have just kind of had this run this season, man. They, like you said, been the best team all year.
Mm-hmm.
Hadn't really looked, too flustered a lot of throughout the season. Um, Held off a very super experienced Denver team
Yeah.
that could have got them out of there, but and I just think I won't say I don't want to say the pressure is on them, but as a fan, I still get a
I mean,
little
they're the
PTSD, bro,
favorite.
because you
Yeah,
know what I'm
they're the
saying. It's like
favorite. Yeah.
we're so young,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how it was 10, 12 years ago
Yep.
with Russ, Katie, and Harden. It's like, oh, they so young, they'll be back, and they never got back.
Never got back. Yeah.
We chose Ibaka over Harden. Harden goes to Houston and become what he is today. You get 1 year where Russ gets hurt in the playoffs, and that messes up things. The next year, KD hurts his foot. They miss the playoffs. The year after that, 3-1.
Trust me, brother.
You know, and
Yeah.
we tried and we tried to do it the super team way, right? We tried to get Melo and PG and Dame Lillard happened.
Yeah.
And then we make the trade, and we get the guys that we got coming in now and everything, and they go through their growing pains, and then they get there, and then of course last year with the number one seed, where I was like, oh, they so young, they ain't ready yet, and then come back again this year with the number one seed again, and everybody's still saying, oh, they ain't ready yet, but now they here. But my thing is also too, if they don't get this. Now, I don't know. There's still obviously a slew of draft picks that we got and everything like that. But I don't know. The thing is that come either, I don't know if it's gonna be this summer, but come either this summer or next summer, both Jalen and Chet is gonna be due for some money.
Mm-hmm. You got to pick.
Do we have to pick? Is somebody gonna be like, you know what, I don't need that much, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll stay with this core to where we can keep building it up, and we got all these assets that we can give off and have, or do somebody go get their bread? And now it's you build all that all over again. Granted, Shea is here, so you work with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like this is an opportunity that they can't get passed up. But you can say the same thing for the Pacers. I mean, this is pretty much the same squad they got from last season
Mm-hmm.
that made it to the conference finals. So I don't know, but I just think in the end, bro, it's gonna be too much. It's gonna be too much. Yeah, the Pacers can run. Yeah, they're deep, but so can the Thunder. They can
Yeah.
run too. They can have one of those
Mm-hmm.
games too. And so it's just, I don't think I feel like nothing phases them. And I don't know if that's a
Yeah.
testament. I don't know if that's a testament of like just Shea's nature, where he never seems like unfazed, out of place, rushed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's just never. He never gives off that. So I think they feed off that. Um, I think they've only lost one game at home
Think
this whole
so.
playoffs. They
Yeah.
game one against Denver.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it's OKC gonna be rocking. Um,
Yes.
like you said, the Pacers got a chance. I don't think a lot of people trying to say, "Oh, this is gonna be over with in 4. This is gonna be over with in 5."
Yeah. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
doubt that. The Pacers got a chance. Like I wouldn't even be surprised if they found a way to take one
On
up
the
there in
road.
OKC. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised at that
And
because they
they have a real home court advantage too.
themselves. So
Yeah. They
this
have a
is
real
this
home
is
court advantage too.
this is not gonna be. I don't think this is gonna be a cakewalk, but I do just think in the end, bro, it's gonna be too much.
Mm.
Shea gonna have one of them games where it's just
And nothing you
he
can
gonna
do.
look unguardable,
Yeah.
and you know sometimes those other players for like the Pacers, like Neesmith and Nimbar, they disappear.
Yeah.
They have games where they just disappear, and you can't do that against a team like OKC, bro.
Mm-mm.
So I'm with you, bro. In the end, I think it's just gonna be too much OKC, bro. So I'm taking the Thunder in 6 with you too, bro. I can't. I don't know. I just don't see them losing 4 games to
Nah.
to 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 the Pacers like that.
Mm-mm.
I just can't see it. I'm pretty sure they're an overwhelming favorite just because of them being a 1 seed and the Pacers being a 4 seed. So I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it's overwhelmingly they're probably you know
The spread for game one is 9.5.
which I think that's
OKC.
reasonable. I think
OKC
that's
9.5.
reasonable.
Yeah.
I think that's reasonable. But we don't know. I think game one is gonna be the telltale of it.
Mm-hmm.
If OKC comes out a blazing and it's a 15-point win come game one,
Might be rough.
it might be.
Yeah.
It might be for sure. But I think in the end, bro, it's gonna be too much shade. Jalen Williams is gonna have one of those games. Hell, Lou Dort can have one of those games where he goes off. He's had it in this playoffs in these playoffs. So yeah, I just think in the end, man, it's too much. It's too much. It's too much thunder. And I like you said, for me, I'll be happy with that, right? Because at that
For
point,
sure.
I'm coming like Thanos at that point. I'm collecting all the rings. I'm just still waiting on one. I I
Yeah.
done seen Georgia.
Yeah.
I done seen the Red Sox. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I've if they come and get this one, I can see the Thunder. You know what I mean? I'm just waiting on one. I'm collecting them. North Carolina in basketball and college basketball. I've seen them. I'm collecting them all like Thanos.
Yeah, bro.
I'm still missing that one. But we gonna get to them. We gonna get.
Yeah.
Let me stay
Yeah.
on. Let me stay on, man. But
Yeah, man.
yeah.
I
So
got a couple I'm still waiting on. So
oh man,
I
that's
got
what
a
I'm saying,
couple. I
bro.
got a couple, man.
It's
Yeah. It's
so
all good though.
if they do it, yeah, if they do it, just know, y'all, I'm going crazy.
I'm
I'm
about to
going
say
crazy.
you going to the parade, bro?
Ooh,
I know
I
that's a
don't know.
ways away. Yeah, that's a ways away.
That's the yeah. Oklahoma City is a ways away. I watch it, but I have my own little post final speech.
Okay. So
You
we'll
know,
have it. It'll be in the
if they
goonies.
get it done, I got it. I got a whole list of players it's gonna be for. We
Yeah,
Mike
nah, for
Muscala,
sure. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Jeremy
Yeah.
Lamb,
Uh-huh. Yeah, man.
Deion Waiters. Y'all don't understand.
Man. Yeah,
Y'all don't understand.
I had to after that 3-1, man, I was like, I'm
It
just
was
gonna come on
tough,
back
bro.
to I'm
Yeah,
gonna come on back to the crib, man. I
it
was
was
like
tough, man.
3-1. It wasn't even something, it was a 3-1 and Katie leaving. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna come on back
Yeah,
home, man. Just
yeah,
come on back to the crib. It's all
yeah,
good.
man.
It's
That was
all
tough. I
good.
understand that wholeheartedly, bro. I wouldn't
Yeah.
even mad at you for that because I'm just like, how do you recover?
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
But there's an eerie dude. It's eerie how similar the situations are too. When you talk about that 2012 year to this year, because you mentioned the guys coming up for contract, Chet and Jalen Williams. You also got to think. You mentioned in a roundabout way Memphis. You mentioned Minnesota, Denver, the Spurs. Like
If they get it, yeah. If they get
you
right,
got
and
like
maybe
you have some Dallas. We'll see what Dallas does. But like your
Houston,
Houston, another young squad. They
yeah.
were the two seed. Like
And like I said too, also, even though they older, as long as they still out there playing, bro, Golden
Golden
State.
State and the Lakers. We'll see with the Clippers. Like
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
like to your
So it's
point
kind of like
is
you gotta.
if you don't
We don't
cash
want
in
to
right
do it.
now,
Yeah, we don't want to be like to like, far as the NFL, right? We don't want to be like the Bengals when they had their chance,
yeah,
didn't get it, and they hadn't been back since.
haven't been back. Yeah, you haven't been back since. So
Now you get into the frustrations of Jamar. I want my money, which
yeah,
yeah, it's T. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
I want my bread. They paid Joey B, but then it's like our defense is like, well, what about us?
yeah, we need some
And,
help.
and now
Yeah,
and now you got what's going on there, so it's just
you got to
you don't
strike
want
while
to
the iron's hot.
miss it.
You got to strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, the situation is very very similar.
for sure,
Very very
for
similar.
sure. Man, we get ready here to wrap up another episode. This has been a great one. It was good to see you back, my brother.
Nah, for sure,
You
man.
know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
man. Anything you wanna say out here to the people?
Man, appreciate your patience. I appreciate your patience for one. Yeah, it's been a while. Like Sanders mentioned at the top of the show, man. There's been a lot of things going on. Um, I've moved states again and all that type of stuff, man, and stuff. But um, appreciate the fans for sure. Appreciate our listeners for sticking with us. Um, we're at the midway point of the year. I said it all 2024, and I'll say it all this year, man. Um, you still got 6 months. You still got 6 months to do whatever it is that you want to do, the goals that you had set in January. You still have plenty of time to fulfill those goals. Even if you had goals that you wanted to accomplish by June, right? You still have a chance to accomplish those goals. Stay healthy, stay safe. Um, it's summertime. It's warm outside, so have fun, enjoy life. Call your loved ones, do all the things, man, all the things. But um, we're back. We back. So we're gonna keep this thing rolling through the finals. And like you said, man, it's good to see you too, man. It's been a minute, so it's
Yes,
good to see
sir.
you too.
Yes, sir. Man, yeah, same thing for me as always. Man, yeah, thank y'all for bearing with us, and everything like that. We appreciate still being around for us, waiting patiently uh for this to come back. Man, same for me as always, yeah, call your people, check on your people, man, you know what I'm saying? Uh Make sure your mental straight, man. Man, for the fellas, man, June is men's mental health month, bro. Make sure
Yeah.
y'all mental is good. You know what I'm saying? Check in on your folks, bro. Check in on your brothers, you know what I'm saying, your friends. Man, your friends that you call brothers, it don't even matter, you know what I'm saying? Just check in on your folks, man. Make sure y'all mental is straight.
Hmm.
You know, us as men, we go through a lot. We try to always hone it in on the inside and feel like that we can't, vent or give out our emotions or frustrations, man. But we just want that to let that be known that you know what I'm saying it's
Hmm.
okay. You're not alone. You got people in your corner that you can talk to, that you can lean on. So man, just for sure protect your mental. Like you said, yeah, it's summertime now. It's starting to get warm outside, man. Go, you know what I'm saying. Go touch grass. You know what I'm saying. Go for a walk. You know what I'm saying. Go just get some type of active going on, man. I promise you'll feel a whole lot
Hmm.
better. Man, continue to like and subscribe to the podcast on the YouTube channel. Follow us on all the social medias, Instagram, uh, Twitter/X, whatever you want to call it. Um, on the Facebook as well, TikTok, where we post our clips and everything like that. So continue to follow us on all those social media platforms. Um, yeah, and again, man, we back. Of course, man. Can't forget about my women, man. Love black women, cherish black women, protect black women. No means no.
No means no.
It's the summertime. I know y'all outside, all that stuff like that. I'm retired, man. I don't partake, but for
Yeah.
everybody else, man, look, man,
Chill.
y'all for real,
Chill.
for
For
real. You know what I
real.
mean? Like for real, man. Just pay attention to your whereabouts, what y'all doing, what
Mhm.
y'all got going on, man. You know what I'm saying? And just yeah, just be safe out here, man. I know. It's the summertime. Y'all be safe out here, man. We all trying to make it back home by the end of the night. You know what
That's
I'm
it.
saying? So,
That's it.
uh, man, I really ain't got nothing else, man. So, shoot, until the next time, man. This has been another episode of the Easy Money Sports Podcast.
Peace.